right, good morning.
Good morning. I'm Carl
Hopefully.
Mingers. This is Aaron Burns. We are WRME Live. We are Main Edge Realty. Episode 260, April 17th. Did you get past tax day?
I did.
Well, I filed an extension, like always.
And it was less brutal than since
Yeah.
I've been in self-employment, so it was great.
Yeah, it's really good. All right. Shoot, let's talk about this market. That's kind of a sustainable roller coaster ride, the median house price in the Mustang Yukon area, West Oklahoma City, 251,000, okay, which is down a little over 5% from last year. But, don't want to get too excited about that because, people are still having to pay basically 99% of the listing price.
Right.
There's not much negotiation.
Especially with the ones that are asking for concessions.
Oh, yeah.
That's almost every offer.
Yeah, they want $10,000 for everything. Every offer that's came through lately has been anywhere from $8,000 to $10,000.
So when you ask them to pay not only your realtor's fees, but then you ask them for closing costs and any allowables that the lender will ask, pretty much subtract that off your offer. So if you're offering $250 and you're asking for $10K plus the 3%, technically you're asking, you're offering less than $240.
Well, you're trying to get the seller for, anywhere from 12 to 15% of what they're asking. And that's a lot of fee.
And a thing I've noticed too, I've had to educate buyers. Buyers don't realize that sellers pay closing costs when they sell their house.
Yeah, their own closing costs.
Right. So they have closing costs when they sell, and then they'll have closing costs again when they purchase. So you asking them to pay your closing costs means they're paying 3 closing costs.
Yeah, it's kind of frustrating, Well, what do we got? Interest rates, man.
They're
6.4 right now, I think it
that's
is.
good compared to.
Yeah, I know. Compared to the 80s, it's a
Well, I'm
piece
just
of
saying,
cake.
if
But
you look back, the 3, we're never gonna see that again.
no, well, more than likely not. I think if interest rates fall in the 4% range anywhere, anything below 5, even 4.99,
Right.
psychologically, people can handle that.
Right.
Okay. And so much of to do with interest rates are the psychology behind it. Okay. Especially for younger buyers
Yes.
who are spoilt to those 3.5% interest rates, that they've seen happen, 10 years ago.
Right. Which
Yeah.
everybody would be great. The best thing to do is, if you find it, buy it, and then watch the market. Ask your lender to watch it for interest rates to make it worth refinancing. I've been told by a lender, if it's not at least 1.1% less than what your current interest rate is, it's not worth refinancing.
Well, I'll tell you what, if people really understood about buying down their mortgage rate, and I think mortgage brokers really should pay more
Explain
attention to
that, yeah.
explaining that, still, although we're dealing with a much more educated buyer than we were 10 years ago,
Yep.
your mortgage broker, who you're trusting to get you the best deal out there, they really need to explain the value of paying down the mortgage. Okay, so instead of asking a seller to
Pay your closing costs.
pay your closing costs, have them you apply that towards paying down that the interest over time, and that $10,000 that you were asking for, if it went to buying down your points, that could easily add up to $50,000-$60,000 in the long run, even more than that actually.
And another thing is, if people understand making an additional payment, even one that goes all towards principal instead of interest, you can start paying down your mortgage faster because interest gets paid first.
Absolutely. Well, one of the easiest ways to do that, is just make your home payment where it's like if it comes out of your checking account, whatever, that it split it in half and do it twice a month, or just do everything every 2 weeks, because some months have 5 weeks in there.
Yep.
You know, so then you end up getting an extra payment at the end of the year, and that goes a long ways. I mean, it'll knock years off of your 30-year mortgage.
Because most people don't realize that. I mean, I looked at our end of the year stuff for our mortgage at taxes, and the difference between, and we're down. I mean, we've paid a lot. We owe under 100K now, so we're setting good. But still, the amount that's went towards interest versus to where we are now, it took a long time.
You know, and if you don't have to refinance, don't. In my opinion,
We didn't. We looked at it.
So many people, but if you get in a pickle and you're able to refinance, you know, by all means do it. But if you can get by, scrape by, you know, do the beans and rice thing for a month or two, and not go ahead and refinance that or get a second mortgage. You know, a lot of people just keep their property mortgaged to the hilt, and you know, you're just paying interest on interest on interest, and it's frustrating to see.
Yes.
So.
Especially when you see someone selling and they got a second mortgage, or they haven't, and they walk away with hardly anything at all.
You know, it's kind of frustrating to go to a closing and, you know, the sellers basically walk away with peanuts, okay, because they've mortgaged their house and
Yep.
mortgaged their house. And by the time they pay all the fees and everything, there's nothing left.
Nope.
And that's,
And we've had instances where it's bad enough we've watched sellers bring money to closing. But they had to.
I've
to
had
get
to
out
do
of the
that before, way
situation.
back in the day. Oh my gosh, ain't nothing hurts like writing a $8,000 or $10,000
I
check
know.
to get rid of a house. Okay, you know, it hurts.
But holler before you get to that point, or you think you're at that point. Holler, we can look over stuff for you. We've done it before.
Yep.
So
Okay, you know, got all these California people coming into downtown Oklahoma City mostly. You know, they like them square, boxy, 3-story, ultra modern looking things. The funniest trend I see is having to have a sauna and a cold plunge. That's their number one thing they
I can
ask
understand a
for.
sauna, but not a cold plunge.
But yeah, those aren't cheap.
No, they're not.
You know, you're looking anywhere from $10,000 to $25,000 additional cost
I'll just get me a
that you're
blow-up.
financing over 30 years. You know,
You can finance anything nowadays.
oh
I'm
yeah,
on
you can finance
Amazon.
your DoorDash
I
now.
know. I'm on Amazon. It's like make 3 payments a day. No.
Yeah,
If I can't afford it now, I don't want it.
I bought some chain markers for the boat.
Yep.
Okay, on West Marine's website, and it comes up. You know, you can finance this over 5 years. I'm like, $90.
Over 5
Finance it
years?
over 5 years. How much would those cost
Oh
over
my
the time?
god. You could have bought probably 5
just-
sets by then.
I just thought it was hilarious, but you know, they wouldn't offer that if people didn't take it. You know, it's just funny. Oh, what do we got here? All right. We've already discovered that. We've talked about that. I don't know. I think we pretty much covered most of the stuff.
Yep.
I like this deal about the Yukon speed. Yukon houses are pending in 15 days. That's less time than it takes to get through the drive-through on a Friday night, and that's pretty much right. You know, Mustang houses are selling a little bit slower, and I'm not sure why. Well, I can tell you why. Because in Mustang, the average house per square foot is right at 160 to 161. Mm-hmm. In Yukon, it's 155, and
A little
$5
cheaper.
a foot is
It makes a difference.
it makes a big difference. You know, that's why when you sell a house or you're buying a house, you want to make sure that square footage is really the real square footage, because the county gets it wrong, realtors have got it wrong.
Appraisals will measure.
You know, absolutely. You know, and if you're off by 100 feet, that's a huge cost. I mean, like on $250,000 house, or at $170 a foot, that's $17,000.
Right.
So know what you're buying and know what you're selling. We have measuring services.
Yes.
I haven't used them in a while. But if there's a discrepancy, yeah, I want that measuring service. So
We'll do that sometimes at the get-go. That way we have it if the county looks wrong or there's been an addition or conversion.
Right.
We want to make sure that's included, especially if it meets the requirements to be considered.
And people that convert these garages, I always discount the square footage of that garage. I don't consider it to be the average with the rest of the house and everything else when I'm running comps and stuff like that.
Because if it's not done right, it's technically not part of the house.
And I hate when they put the laundry room in like a bedroom.
Yes.
Or, the converted garage. Great, it's converted. And then you got the laundry room sitting right there. Like,
I looked
doesn't
at
make
one
sense.
or El Reno or something, but they converted the garage and it was the master, and the laundry room was in the bathroom.
Yeah. Well, the only place, in my opinion, that really makes sense is Section 8 housing. Because those people are getting subsidized by the government. They really don't care. They're just trying to get the most house for the least money out of their pocket.
I'd rather just have it stuck in a closet on the side of the kitchen than in a bedroom or something.
Yeah. It's kind of like
apartment living.
then it's
I've
like
already
doing the laundry on the boat, where you go to almost to the engine room to
Yeah.
get laundry done.
But living in a little one-bedroom apartment, that's how our washer and dryer were, but it worked. I mean, yeah, it's right there off the kitchen, but we had a washer and dryer.
Yep.
We weren't going to the laundry. It was better than being in the bedroom or bathroom, taking up that space.
Yep. Laundromats. When I was a kid, my Aunt Luella never had a washer and dryer. They went to the laundromat every week.
Yes.
And she
once a
hung
week.
all the laundry out on the line. In our house, my mom always had a washer and dryer. And just watching the dynamics between the two, she would spend a half a day at the laundromat.
Yeah.
I mean, once a week, and I guess, back then, in the 60s and 70s, most of the wives got to stay home, which isn't the case anymore. So it's just an interesting
But
dynamic.
I can feel that. Me and kiddo lived in an apartment for a while, no washer and dryer. Every Saturday or Sunday, every week, I was at the laundromat.
Yeah, well, then you got to make it an event, an outing, of the sort.
But it was, it eats up your day. So I'd be happy with one in the kitchen.
All right. Well, we about run out of stuff to talk about today, except for the weather. Rain's coming.
Yes.
We need a green screen with a weather mat back here.
Oh, yes,
we
I'm
could-
sure
we could
everybody would
point.
love that.
Oh yeah, and we could
Look.
talk about the weather.
We're weather people now.
We could come up here and do podcasts during tornadoes, and see how excited we could get about
Hey, look, it's red, it's red.
like the regular weather guys, weather gals. Man, I tell you what, they are so disappointed when they have a circulation that doesn't produce a tornado. You can just see them. It's hilarious.
Yep, Oklahoma for you.
People in other parts of the country, they don't understand. We're just so used to it. We hear the sirens go off. We go out and look around.
I have.
It's
I've
just
been
the
out
way it
looking and be
is.
like, oh crap, that's forming.
Yep.
But it wasn't on the news yet.
Yep. All right. Well, folks, we are WRME Live, where we do real live, real world real estate every day. Come
Right
see
on.
us.